Hello everyone, my name is Megan Jones and I'm a meteorologist with the National Weather Service office in Bismarck, North Dakota. This is a special briefing for Health and Human Services on the 2025-2026 Winter Outlook. So if you've never seen these graphics before, these are the official outlooks issued by the Climate Prediction Center. So a little bit of background: on the left is the temperature outlook, and you can see there's different colors of shading that correlate to a distinct probability of percent chance of being above, below, or near normal. And then on the right is the same thing but for precipitation. So again, different colors of shading to indicate the percent chance of above, below, or near normal. This is the official winter outlook that is valid for December through February. So this is meteorological winter, December 2025 through February 2026. The seasonal temperature outlook: on the left, you can see that there is blue shading across North Dakota. This correlates to the 40 to 50% chance of below normal temperatures. So again, you can see this is valid for all of North Dakota, and it is about a 40 to 50% chance. On the right is the precipitation outlook. You can see the green shading across North Dakota, which indicates above normal precipitation is favored for the December through February season. Most of the state is in this green shading that is 40 to 50% chance, and then the southeast part of the state is a little bit lower in 33 to 40% chance. So we're going to step through these same outlook styles through the rest of the winter and into the spring season. So this is valid for January through March. Again, in 2026, you can see on the left the temperature outlook has that same blue shading, indicating below normal temperatures are favored across the state of North Dakota. On the right, you can see the precipitation outlook still have green shading across the vast majority of the state, indicating above normal precipitation is favored, although you do start to get a little bit of just the white coloring across the far southeast corner. This indicates equal chances of above, below, or near normal precipitation. So again, it doesn't mean near normal necessarily, it just means that there's not a strong enough signal to indicate one way or the other. Going further to February, March, April, again for 2026, on the left, again, this temperature outlook has blue shading across the state, so we're still seeing those below normal temperatures favored through the February, March, April period. On the right, the precipitation outlook, we do start to lose most of our signal for the state. So again, you can see that green shading has kind of gone back into Montana and then as well as in parts of Minnesota and Wisconsin. But we have equal chances across most of North Dakota for this period, again indicating that there is no strong signal to favor us for above, below, or near normal precipitation. It doesn't mean that it won't end up above or below normal. We just can't tell at this point in time. Finally, the March, April, May outlook, which is meteorological spring. You can see on the left, we still have that below normal temperature outlook. So we've got the blue shading. So the main message for this winter is really that we're expecting those below normal temperatures to be favored through the winter and into at least part of, if not all of, the entire spring season. This doesn't mean that it won't moderate at time, but overall, when you're looking at the months and the seasons as a whole, we are expecting below normal temperatures. On the right then for meteorological spring, March, April, May of 2026, there's no coloring across North Dakota indicating equal chances for above, below, or near normal precipitation. These outlooks are being driven by something called a La Nina. We have a La Nina advisory in effect right now, and this is the cold phase of the El Nino Southern Oscillation, which is a large-scale climate feature in the equatorial Pacific Ocean. When you get this pattern, you get a blocking high pressure in the Pacific Ocean and then a more variable polar jet stream that makes it a lot easier for colder Arctic air to filter into the north central part of the United States, which includes North Dakota. That's what's seen in this graphic on the right-hand side of the screen. This is also a weak La Nina event, which does mean that there is a lower probability that we see this expected pattern. This means that it's a lot easier for shorter-term climate features to influence our day-to-day weather, which can make things a little bit more variable, and instead of being cold through the entire winter and spring, we might get some warm-ups in there. So that is the main influence of this. And we do also see a transition back to ENSO neutral conditions by the spring. So again, we would be looking at much shorter term climate features, which are things that we will be keeping an eye on here at the Weather Service, and we'll be letting you know if we see anything in particular as we go through the winter and the spring. These are the typical weak La Nina temperature impacts. On the left is the temperature anomalies during weak La Ninas for October and November. On the right is the temperature anomalies for December, January, and February. On the left, you can see it is a very consistent signal across not only North Dakota, but the entire region for above normal temperatures in October and November, which is what we have been experiencing this fall so far. And then on the right, you can see we really start to flip, and we see that negative temperature anomaly really come into play across the entire region. So again, that's that below normal temperatures that we do expect when we have La Nina conditions. That is typically what we end up seeing for the December, January, February period. Also looking at snowfall patterns during weak La Nina years. On the left, this is the snowfall pattern for the entire season, the difference from the average seasonal snowfall. On the right is specifically January through March. So starting on the left, when we look at the entire average seasonal snowfall during weak La Nina years, again across North Dakota and really the entire Northern Plains region as a whole, you can see that we are skewed towards above average seasonal snowfall. The average for Bismarck is right around 50 inches for context. And then on the right, you can see, again, a very similar spatial pattern where you've got this difference from average snowfall is positive across the Northern Plains, including North Dakota. This is focused on January through March. So that's when we really start to see that enhanced signal where looking at the seasonal snowfall, we can be a little bit slow to start sometimes. It is already over halfway through November and we don't have much snow so far on the season, so we do start to get a little bit more active the back half of the season into the spring. So our overall expectations for this winter, we are expecting to transition to winter-like temperatures sometime from late November into December. As we're filming this the week ahead of Thanksgiving, it does look like our colder temperatures are going to emerge sometime around the Thanksgiving holiday and continue into the start of December. Typically when we see this during a La Nina winter, we do end up having those normal to below normal temperatures stick around from December into January, and then potentially through April, maybe even May, depending on how things kind of trend for the spring season. But right now, that is our expectation, that once we get cold, for the most part, we are expecting to stay cold through the winter and into much of the spring. For precipitation, there are signs of an active winter overall, and historically our trends are favoring a more active back half of the winter. We do also typically get a December storm in this pattern, so again, that will be something that we are keeping an eye out for in the next couple of weeks to see if we start to see that signal of getting a December snowstorm before the more active back half of the winter. Based on previous winter seasons and the forecast pattern, we are expecting above normal snowfall for western and central North Dakota. For Bismarck, our best guess is 60 to 70 inches. Again, average is right around 50 with slightly higher amounts to the north. If you ever have any questions on the winter outlook or climate in general, please feel free to send me an email at megan.e.jones@noaa.gov. If you ever have questions on the forecast or something that's a little bit more time sensitive, please call our office at 701-250-4224, and our email is listed on the screen as well. We do additionally have our Facebook and X social media pages where we are posting forecast information and any updates that are available, so you can share that for your own social media pages as well. And then finally on the right, there's a QR code to sign up for the NWS Bismarck email list. If you're not already on this, I would highly recommend it. We will be sending out briefing packets anytime there's high impact weather expected, so you can get the latest information directly from us. So thank you for your time.